Whether you're crash discounting or you're just discounting without any sort of value besides the fact that you're putting a percentage off on something, that can cheapen your brand. And it can actually attract more of those patients and clients who are looking for the cheapest place in town. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Recently, I was coaching a client inside of MSA, and we were, I think the episode that precedes this episode is all about manufacturing success. And I was talking about on that episode how the topic of manufacturing success and me coaching my clients on what that looks like for them just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And so we were talking about manufacturing success for one of her signature packages. And it's a new signature package that is new. She has been in business a long time. She's very successful. She has a whole team. And this package, it's new to them how they've packaged it together, but it's based on a clinical protocol that they've done with a lot of clients throughout the years. But the way they are presenting it is new. And so we were talking about how can we equip her team to have even more success selling this signature package. And she also really wanted to increase the amount of clients that she had get through this protocol exactly how it is so that she could even get more before and afters. She didn't have a ton of before and afters for this specific protocol just yet. And so we were talking about it and I said, well, what if you had a promotional campaign about this particular package? You don't even have to have the in-person event, because sometimes I do recommend having the in-person event and have a high impact event with the promotional campaign where you promote this and you have some special incentives on top of the package. So, it's a value add. We're not discounting it. We're just adding in some irresistible bonuses that are value adds to the thing. And so she was concerned. She was like, I just don't want to end up accidentally making myself into some sort of discount clinic. And what I told her, and this is what we're going to talk about today, is a concept I call white glove promotions. There is a difference. When you are creating a white glove premium experience, you can still use promotions to actually help incentivize your clients or patients to do certain things. That is very different than promotions that are built on generic discounted things. And so today I wanted to talk about the difference between white glove promotions and how premium brands and even luxury brands, they still use promotions, but they use white glove promotions. They don't use discounts and other things in the same way. An example I gave to my client was I told her, I recently went and purchased a bunch of makeup at the Chanel counter. And as I was, deciding on the things I was purchasing, the Chanel representative was like, oh, well, we have this special, essentially it was a gift with purchase. She's like, if you spend more, like she basically told me I had to spend X amount and I was underneath this amount, then you get this makeup bag and a couple of other sort of like fun travel sized lipstick type of things with it. And so this was a white glove promotion. Right? Chanel is not a discount brand, nor did the experience feel like a discount type of cheap thing. It was actually elevating the experience with Chanel while incentivizing me to actually spend more with them. And so this is the difference between white glove promotions and discounts that are cheapening your brand. And so that is what I was encouraging my client was like, we are coming up with white glove promotions. We are coming up with promotions that are still in alignment with you being a premium or even luxury brand. I want you to think about this. I actually have a brand new training that was a bonus for Ask Heather AI. It'll also be, if you have the authority method, you will have access to it. And then of course, MSA will have access to it as well. But walking through how to actually have a strategy, a white glove promotional strategy for your practice or clinic. And the reason why this is so powerful is that having special promotions, throughout the year that you can use strategically like a lever to actually have your patients or clients take certain actions that you want them to take is still an important part of your marketing plan. So we still want to have a promotional plan that is highlighting certain things and that may incorporate certain sort of bonuses and value adds in order to actually entice your buyer to actually take the action on whatever it is that you're selling. Now, where the confusion comes up is that there are a lot of you that have, inadvertently done something that I call crash discounting, okay? And so whether you're crash discounting or you're just discounting without any sort of value besides the fact that you're putting a percentage off on something, that can cheapen your brand. And it can actually attract more of those patients and clients who are looking for the cheapest place in town. But with white glove promotions, these are promotions that are with the premium client or patient in mind. If I have a $3,000 to $10,000 package and I am adding in a value add bonus, which is the price point range that my client who is coming to me with and we were talking about, and I decide I'm going to add in a white glove promotion for a limited period of time to entice my folks to actually purchase that during that time period, that is not, the person who's not going to invest in a $3,000 to $10,000 package isn't going to even learn about that promotion. But your premium client or patient who appreciates the luxe gift with purchase, if you will, the value add to it, is not going to be cheapened, or it's not priming her to ask for discounts, right? It's a very different experience as opposed to having every month your promotional plan be the random discounts that you're running. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with crash discounting, I actually think I have a podcast episode called Crash Discounting where I talk about it. So if you want to go search my whatever podcast player you're listening to this on to find it, I dive in deeper. But the Cliff's Notes of crash discounting that I've seen with people in our industry over and over again is you come up, it's similarly to crash dieting, right? Where you're you have a big event coming up or, it's almost summertime. And so you're I need to lose weight. And so you do some diet that is a crash diet that does maybe in the short term work where you lose some weight or you lose some water weight, but over time, it actually messes up your metabolism to crash diet. Crash discounting works in the same way. If you are panicking about your sales and last minute you're let's run this discount in order to spark some bookings and sales, it does work in the short term, right? Those crash discounts can work, but they mess up the metabolism of your business. And what I mean by that is they mess up how you've positioned your business. You actually end up growing your patient and customer base around price sensitive people because you're training those folks to wait for discounts and you are attracting the discount shopping folks. So it messes up with the integrity of what most of you are trying to do, especially if you're listening to this podcast or a follower of me at all. So we don't want to crash discount. We don't even want to do the regular discount promotional plan where we're just randomly picking the generic treatment or service or product or skincare line to discount every month. How can we use white glove promotions? When you think about it, if you look at luxury hotels, they will still have promotions. In fact, you can go and look at the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons or some of these like really luxe experience hotels, and they still have promotions that are more white glove in how they're designed, right? And so, it might be that they have a spa package where you will get a certain amount of spa credit by booking for 5 days at this, luxe destination, right? So it's thousands and thousands of dollars for the package, but it's going to attract still the premium destination traveler. It's not going to attract like the person looking for the cheapest hotel in town, but it's going to encourage them maybe to take the action of booking for 5 days instead of booking for 3 days. A fine dining tasting menu where they have the chef's selection and it's curated and it's like a fixed price that is still premium, but is actually maybe a better deal on everything because you are picking what the chef has curated. Or maybe it's a private yacht charter that is including like a bottle of champagne and a charcuterie board for the sunset cruise, right? So like looking at what other industries do that are still premium or luxury, they're not mainstream, and who they're trying to attract leaves us clues for how we can do this in our own industry. So what I coached my client on was, how can we keep that premium white glove experience but still incorporate promotions to get folks to do what we want them to do? And so what I mean by that even is, when I have been talking, like I was talking about at the top about manufacturing success, like let's say you're trying to get a certain number of people to purchase initially because it's a new package, right? You can have an incentivized white glove promotion that is a value add bonus for folks that take action early on. This is a shift in how you actually think about your promotional plan. And it's something that I'm going to be teaching and training with my clients on. And I wanted to bring to the podcast so that you can start thinking about, okay, where are we crash discounting? Where are we cheapening ourselves? Or where are we so concerned about crash discounting or cheapening ourselves because you've learned from me or other consultants and coaches that you shouldn't be discounting? So how can we create white glove promotions so that we can still entice folks to take the actions we want them to take on our premium offers while not cheapening our brand or the experience for the premium patients and clients that we want to attract more of to our clinics, med spas, and practices? That is what I have for you this week. If you are interested in learning more about Ask Heather AI or the Authority Method or MSA, I'm going to put all those links in the show notes because the white glove promotional training method will be in those products. All right, my friend, that's what I have for you this week. I'll see you next week.